What's up, fam? We right back at you. This is the DC Stewart Show Podcast live, featuring my kinfolk Isaiah and Najee. We're coming in for the second segment of our show. We had our first segment already, and we're super excited about talking about this second segment because we're going to sprinkle some NBA in there, and we're going to talk about some current news in this new segment. So sit tight, relax, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to us, boy, because we're just it's looking pretty damn good from our end, especially from around the world and from the United States. We send our shout outs to all of our fans over in Europe and in Asia, especially the Philippines. The Philippines is hitting us hard, so we're in love with them as well. Just you know, we're all about real talk. We ain't playing around. We're just giving you our takes from our actual real talk takes. So make sure you do all of those things. And let's get started, and let's continue on the recap, talking about these coaches filling in slots for 6 teams. So we have 6 NFL teams, and we probably have a whole big pool of coaches. Some of them never coached a football team before as a head coach. You know, and they got to give someone an opportunity. Chris Shula's name was mentioned. He comes from a long line of success, with Don Shula being his grandfather, his father David Shula, his uncle Mike Shula. The Shula family has always been successful at every level that they've played at, and at every level pretty much that they've coached at. So Najee, I'm going to start with you and ask you, as I asked you before, there's 6 slots open. I think you answered for Baltimore already that Brian Flores would be a good fit for Baltimore. So I'm going to just throw one out there and say, who do you think would be a good fit for Tennessee? With Cam Ward, because Tennessee's got a lot of talent as well, young talent, and they got Cam Ward. So where can you go wrong being a coach of the Tennessee Titans?
I don't know who because I don't know, man.
Send McDaniels over there with.
But you know what?
You think Mike McDaniels would be a good fit?
You can do McDaniels because nobody has a they not established yet, so they still trying to find themselves. Nobody's stubborn. Everybody's still kind of willing to learn over there. So I can see that working for him. Not dealing with somebody that already established themselves and already won championships and got to try to tone them down. So why not bring somebody up that's going to be his sophomore year after, by the time you get that? I think that would be his best bet. His best bet. And then on top of it, there's no expectations of them being great.
Mm-hmm.
So it would definitely work for him.
How about you, Isaiah?
Yeah, I mentioned that because you're talking about an offensive mind. And Cam Ward is hungry, man. He's got this brain where he's always trying to fulfill new stuff, you know, and to have McDaniels come there with all of these dynamic plays that he's always using on every team he's been on. He's been a guy who just drum up some really good plays, and I think that'll work for him. It just didn't work for him as a head coach here because he had a quarterback that was always going through challenges. So with a healthy Ward, I think that'll be a good situation for him. So I would recommend him going over there. Yeah.
Absolutely. So the hottest names is John Harbaugh. I always get him sometimes mixed up with Jim. He's Jim's older brother. You have John Harbaugh, you have Brian Flores, you have Robert Saleh, and you have Kevin Stefanski's name is on this list, by the way, even though, as I mentioned earlier, Kevin Stefanski, to me, the job that he did at the final year of Cleveland, I don't know, man. If I was an owner, I'd be looking the other direction.
DC, let me ask you something right quick. The Brian Flores thing, we've been throwing him in these positions because he's qualified and we feel like he'll do a good job. Has he been reaching out to put his name in the hat for some of these jobs?
He's been somewhat quiet. I haven't seen much in the media ecosystem about Brian Flores. I think he's keeping it down low on the low because, you know, I was reading an article today that Minnesota's coach could be at risk, the head coach. Kevin O'Connell. I mean, he could be at risk. So if he's at risk, which I hope he's not, because Kevin O'Connell is a good coach. I think he is. But if the Wolf brothers
made a decision on him then already, DC.
You think so?
I think they would have made he ain't going nowhere, man. They would have made a decision on him because what we were talking about in the first segment is the fact that these owners need to move forward on these hires because you're going to be staring the draft down the face in another couple months. So for them to be so late to fire a guy and their season been over, so they need to make a move now, in which they have not. So I don't see them firing their coach. I mean, especially with the type of names that's out there now, wouldn't you want to go ahead and get rid of your coach and then have somebody to flirt with some of these guys that's out there already? I mean, I don't think he's going nowhere.
I totally agree with you.
He would be doing himself a disservice, man. He would be doing himself a disservice to hang on to a guy as long as he's done so far and then let all of these good, valuable coaches get scooped up and then he fired a guy. That's dumb. So, I mean, I don't see him doing that. I think that coach is going to stay put.
I think Kevin O'Connell is going to stay put as well, and that's all for the good for the Vikings because I think the Vikings they have a lot of potential. So, and Brian Flores is definitely going to be gone. He's going to get one of these head coaching jobs. It just depends on where he lands. I think personally, the moral of the story is. These owners has got to come to grips, at least a handful of them has got to come to grips and say, look, I have to make this sacrifice to bring in this person and give them a little bit of time because nothing happens overnight. Nothing changes overnight as far as professional sports go, unless you guys know something that I don't know. But it takes at least 2 years for any coach, I think, to get a grip and to get their feet grounded into a position where they can take full control of an organization, and that goes for college as well. I mean, you have to give them time, and a lot of these owners, they don't want to give them the time. They want instant, gratification and instant results.
Listen to the microwavable results.
Right, microwavable. Hey, Najee, that was an excellent analogy, my brother. Yeah. Serious.
And you know what? I really don't mind that. That microwave results. I don't mind that. Let me tell you why I say that. I don't mind that. You know why? Because listen to what we just read in the first segment with John Harbaugh. Those demands. He wanted a freaking raise. This is a guy who just got. Why would you not want to just clarify that he want a $300 raise? And he's showing you where you got to fatten up his staff along with it. And he want control. So why would you not want instant results when he have that type of demand? This is what he spelled out.
Well,
so why would you not want instant results? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a really good coach in the way the system is being ran right now, especially in college, where you got the portal going on, you got the trade thing going on. You can almost acquire almost anybody you want now, and especially in college. Now, this is a little different from pro because you got a contract. You can't just jump ship like they can in college. But in college, you need instant results, man, because it could be turned in the blink of an eye in college. You've seen it this year on many teams where you got a really good coach come in there, and you think about it. A collegiate team can have up to like 20 new players.
Well, the NFL they transition through different players too as well. The main point, and I'm gonna kindly disagree with you. I think John Harbaugh has every right to ask for that $20 million and whatever he wants.
I'm not saying he's not being demanded. I'm telling you, he need to kick ass right away if he's going to be
true
for $3 million.
True. He will have to come in. I think he will have to come in and he'll have to make an instant impact. He'll have to hit the ground running. And he's the type of coach I believe is capable of doing that, though. I mean, it's a lot of other ones aren't capable of being able to hit the ground running and be able to get a franchise turned around within, a year. maybe into the second year. It took DeMeco Ryans, who's the head coach of the Texans, about 2 years, and he had the Houston. Houston was one of the worst franchises in football. Houston back then reminded me a lot of what the Arizona Cardinals is going through right now, as far as I'm concerned. And then you have other teams that is in need. I mean, look at Cleveland. I mean, you got Jimmy Haslam, who's the owner at Cleveland. He's the everything is in his park. The leverage is there for John Harbaugh. He's probably going to be able to get what he wants from these owners, and he's going to have to hit the ground running. So I do agree with you with that. Now, his landing spots, his top 2 landing spots, as we said in the first segment, I think personally is the Miami Dolphins, because he has a relationship with Stephen Ross from University of Michigan days. The Harbaughs are from Michigan, by the way. Jim went to Michigan, played quarterback at Michigan, and possibly the Cleveland Browns and the Atlanta Falcons. Those are 3 possible landing spots I could potentially see him in. But these other coaches is just going to have to kind of navigate the waves and be able to kind of go, because New York is a very attractive job because you're in the largest market in the country, being at New York. So you get more exposure in New York, but you can also get more pushback in New York. I mean, so that's why New York might not be a place that a lot of these coaches are knocking down the door to get in. When you say that, Najee?
I definitely agree, because, I mean, the last thing you want to do is get fired from one job and then be in a hot seat in the next job. You don't want that. So what you need to do is go to another franchise. I'm not going to say it to be a championship contender or anything, but to at least have you in a comfortable state so you can bring them up, bring them from wherever ground they are to the top.
Yeah, human beanbag number 3 just said, "Hey, wait, that's not a true statement that Harbaugh is demanding all of these excess demands." And it's always rumors. We're in a world of a social media ecosystem that some of these articles look so real, especially the ones on Instagram and the ones that are on Facebook and even YouTube sometimes. But if you look at the overall picture of things, John Harbaugh was making $17 million, according to reports, when he was with the Ravens for those 18 years. And if in fact, indeed, he does demand something like that, I'm not saying it's true or not. If he does demand $20 million, I wouldn't have a problem with that, because I feel like he's a capable coach to come in and be able to get the job done, especially for legacy franchises like the Giants and like the Dolphins. The Cleveland Browns is considered a legacy franchise because they basically have been around forever. They just haven't been winning Super Bowls. So thanks for that heads up. We appreciate that, because we want to know really what's going on. And
let's say it's alleged right now, because
and we'll say it's alleged because we're not 100% sure on that. I know I always try to triple check media outlets, because one media outlet will say it and then another media outlet won't say it, or a lot of it comes through untrue. So we appreciate that. But getting back to the slots for some of these coaches, we're talking about the seriousness of these owners getting these coaches in another week or so, because the draft is in April. So it's a lot of wheeling and dealing go on during the draft. They trade a lot of players off. They bring players in through trades. Matt LaFleur's job is in question, at least allegations per reports that Matt LaFleur is going to go in and talk with the top brass at Green Bay. And by the way, Matt LaFleur is a damn good coach. He's one of the better coaches in the league, and he wasn't given very much of a chance when he took over Green Bay, and Green Bay has improved under him, especially Jordan Love, the quarterback for Green Bay. One thing that's about professional sports, and mainly football, is it's not easy winning one game, let alone trying to win 10 games or 12 games or whatever the case may be. So I would say Green Bay, if they're smart, they need to hold on to Matt LaFleur, not let him go, because he would be a big name out there too as well if they were to decide to part company with Matt LaFleur. So we definitely want to make sure that we are we're covering all of our boundaries, especially with the NFL and with college football and basketball, because our guy Najee, he's here. He's one of the top basketball gurus for us, so we're so happy to have him here for that. So I got one more question for Isaiah. I know we talked about Todd Bowles, Tampa Bay's head coach. He fired some coaches. I guess he felt the need to get rid of some coaches. Charlie Strong was one of them. I asked you in the last show, why did he fire Charlie Strong? And you gave me your take on it. Do you think Todd Bowles' position is stable next year?
It's not stable this year. That's why he's starting to fire people. It just pissed me off to see these guys, once they start getting on the hot seat, they start clipping perimeters around themselves instead of holding themselves accountable for it, man. And have these elite coaches like that get clipped because you are getting questioned. So, I just thought it was kind of sad to see him get rid of some of those good, polished coaches that's on his staff. So we'll see how it happens, because I've seen experience where these coaches start clipping guys around them, and then the next year they get fired. So it's not the ones that they're firing, it's them.
Oh, you run out of people to clip. Yeah. You run out of coaches to clip. They coming for you.
But the ultimate thing is you. It's him.
Yeah.
So
they coming for you next.
Because the buck stopped with him. So I love the guys who ride out with their staff. You take the whole brunt of it. You
ride or die, baby. Ride or die. I'm rolling with my staff. Yeah,
that's some coward stuff he pulled. He pulled some cowardly act to start clipping the perimeters of this thing, instead of just saying, okay, we're going to make sure that we have a better season next year, instead of just start clipping the perimeters of his staff. Yeah.
I thought Bowles has done a fairly decent job down in Tampa Bay. He's got talent down there for sure. They have the talent to win that NFC South, but that NFC South is one of the worst divisions in football. Let me repeat that. They're one of the worst divisions. They have the New Orleans Aints. I don't call them Saints. I call them Aints. They had the Carolina Panthers. Carolina has improved immensely this year, by the way, with Dave Canales. Dave Canales, head coach, man, you've done a great job at Carolina. And then you have Atlanta, and then you have Tampa Bay in that division. And this, to me, has to be one of the weakest, if not the weakest divisions in football. And Todd Bowles is going to have to get some results next year. It ain't going to be like you say, he may not even be safe now. I think he will survive into next year. I really do believe it. I think the Glazer brothers, who own the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, plus Bruce Arians.
A loud cry, shouting people they were going nuts, man, to get rid of him.
Yeah, I believe it.
Loss. And he was looking crazy and pitiful as they lose that last game. So they were really hoping they got him out of there. But he seemed like he's going to weather the storm this year. But I'm just eager to see how good he is next year with him firing these good coaches that he had on the staff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very, very good.
Crazy, because that division had 3 teams with the same record out of 4, bro. They all were 8-9 except for the Saints.
Yeah.
You see that, DC?
Kellen Moore, man, I thought he was going to turn New Orleans around, and it still might be time. I think it's probably time. That's an organization that you're going to need time to turn around, I think, because they didn't have everything together from the very get-go. And when Kellen Moore came in there, it's one of them cleanup situations where you got to clean up what was left. From
see, that's opposite of what Tampa Bay is going through, DC. Todd Bowles was handed a great team. That's the difference. He was handed a good team.
You're absolutely right. And what he's taken with that team is, can he maintain it? Could he maintain what Arians left behind to him? Because he wouldn't even have this job if it wasn't for Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians personally handpicked Todd Bowles to be in this position. You know,
Handed it to him, man.
and they handed it, and Bruce Arians handed it off in great shape to Todd Bowles. So Todd Bowles got a lot of soul searching to do, whatever he needs to do to make sure this organization is at the top of the NFC South to begin with. And if that's not the case, I don't think he's going to be around that long, to be honest with you. So let's shift over a little bit. Let's have a conversation about Ja Morant. Ja Morant is one of the best young basketball talents I've seen almost in a generation, especially a man his height. A man his height that can go up literally like Michael Jordan used to do at the free throw line and go airborne and dunk it. Yeah. I've seen Ja Morant do that before.
Yeah, minus the tone.
Just the talent. He's got a springboard of a leap. He can shoot. He could play. To me, Ja Morant is so fearless, and Najee, help correct me if I'm wrong. Ja Morant is so fearless that he could play under the basket. I mean, he ain't afraid to go under the basket and put in work. But
that's where he's more deadly, because he has a very average jump shot. So most of his damage is in the paint.
Yes. And in the paint, he's done a lot of damage. He's done a lot of good for Memphis. But let's talk about fate again, because we always talk about fate. Sometimes, some places you might overstay, or sometimes some places you get tired of. You don't want to be there no more. The place that you're at might not even want you there anymore. I think it has reached that threshold now with the Memphis Grizzlies, with Ja Morant. Ja Morant had a lot of good opportunities. First opportunity is to play professional basketball, because do you know how many people that failed at playing professional basketball? You know how many people that didn't make it even to play professional basketball, let alone play it itself and be in games and you're superstar in the league at that high level. That's a great point. And I think he has pawned some of it off with arrogance. I think he's pawned some of it off with his inability to understand that you have to stay grounded while you're playing professional sports. And I know it's hard because people coming to you telling you you're great. People coming to you wanting to hang around you. People coming to you telling you that the world is yours. And that can go to a lot of people's head, not just athletes, but when people are coming into your camp and you rolling with the wrong type of people, and I'm not saying he is, but he's gotten into a lot of issues in this league. And I want you to break down everything for me, Najee, to tell me what led up to the point we're at now with Ja Morant.
Well, you don't want to say it, but I will say it. Obviously, he don't have the greatest people that's surrounded with him. He have his dad with it. It seems like his dad is with him almost every game he's playing. But I mean, if you would have had if you had the right type of people around you, you won't conduct yourself the way how you do, bro. Like for example, with LeBron has the entourage he's had for years, and it seems like he don't really do anything that's going to get him in trouble on the court or off the court. Like you haven't seen him do nothing. You don't have. There's no allegations against him. There's nothing. He stays clean. Ja Morant, it seems like he does everything to screw his career up. Like you bobble around with guns. You can't stop doing antics on the court that just draws attention to you. Like you would think maybe I will stop before I get in trouble or before this is cut off. His shoes that he come out with, like everybody's playing in them. Everybody. I'm talking about big men and small men. When me and Isaiah went to the Big Three, guess what? Michael Beasley was playing in. He was
Ja Morant shoes, right?
I pointed out to him. I said, you see what shoes he's playing? Isaiah. He said, what happened? Nah, those are Ja Morant shoes. And then I said, look at everybody on the court. Just about everybody, at least one person from each team that played that day was wearing Ja Morant shoes. So he has top notch playing shoes. He has the attitude on the court to play in the style to keep. Just to keep your interest in him because he's explosive. But the thing is, he just continued to do negative antics that draws people away from him. Like anybody, I'm pretty sure anybody that's trying to trade for him is taking some of his value away because he can't conduct himself in a mature manner.
Yeah. So Isaiah, is he keeping it real? Is this what this is about? Keeping it real?
Stupid and ignorant, man, and sad because when I went to the thing that Najee referring to, that Big 3 game, that stadium was flooded with young folk, man. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about kids, parents bringing their children there, man, from all over the place. It was packed, jam-packed to the max. And for him to conduct himself like that, we always refer to this because you got these young minds with like sponges, like soaking this stuff in, man, and it's soaking in ignorance. Dude, when you can't just stay off camera with guns and violence, we got enough of that stuff for people to be parading around, praising the fact that you got firearms and the rest of this stuff, man. And this is what happening around the nation when you got people just getting slaughtered with guns. Guns is not supposed to be glorified like that, man. It's supposed to be for protection in case somebody jump on you, able to protect your family and protect you from bodily harm. And then you out there parading around like that, and you got a freaking team that don't check you for it, man, because ultimately it's going to catch up with you. I mean, just look at him. He don't want to play for the team that he's on. Who else
anymore? He doesn't want to play for this team anymore, correct? He's just, I guess he's reached that point where he don't want to be there anymore, right?
Well, let's do this. Let's say that's alleged because I've been reading that stuff.
Yeah, let's say it's alleged, correct.
So that's what's happening, and of course, if that's true, I can understand that too many teams may not be, eager to get his services because of his behavior, and that's sad because we're talking about how talented he is, and your talent is the one bringing you these bags, but your behavior is the one going to exit you out the door. So, man, just get a grip, man, and start acting like an adult. Act like you got some sense, man, because you're going to shave some of your career down, man, because of the things that you're doing on and off the court. Yeah.
Yeah, according to this, I just pulled up, and this is the NBA website. This is Bleacher Report. It says Ja Morant ripped by NBA exec amid trade rumors. Pain in the ass, injury prone, and not that good. Now, Najee, do you agree with that? Not that good, or is that garbage?
That not that good stuff is a lie,
no,
but the rest of
that's garbage. He might be a pain in the rear end because you want him to be to grow up, but then pain in the yes. But he's definitely not overrated. He's definitely not overrated because
he's definitely worth every bit of his talent, right?
Because now he's even improved in his playmaking. Because his assists, I've been watching his assists going up. The only thing that it has been dropping down significantly is his points and his efficiency. That's going down.
See that the writer who wrote that, DC, he just had to put some sprinkles on that stuff because he's trying to diminish Ja Morant as a human. So then that's when he tried to talk about his play. Everybody knows that's a lie, but he has to put doo-doo on top of it because he's trying to marginalize the guy. So when you act like a jackass, you give people an opportunity to do that. And see, this is what we're saying. Out of everything that he does wrong, okay, there's enough for that. But the things that he's doing good, this guy still piled on that too, saying his talent is diminished. So that goes to show you that you're not getting a fair shake, man. So conduct yourself like a professional at all times because you never know who's watching you, man.
That's
all.
True.
And then don't be posting this garbage that you do in your
personal life. And it's a lot of haters out there too. It's a lot of haters out there. No matter what, they're in every industry, they're everywhere. Because LeBron James is a perfect example of all these people that dislike LeBron James. They have their own reasons for not liking LeBron James. However, you can't question the man's character because he's never gotten in trouble. He's never, been in the news for getting. I don't even think I've ever read that he got a speeding ticket I mean, and
bro, he don't have scandal like this,
yes.
man. Every time you hear some negative about LeBron, it's either some made up stuff because he kind of conducts himself like a professional at all times, and he's helping his community, he's doing things for other folks, and that's what it's supposed to be. I mean, you don't have to do it, but at least when you know people are watching you, man, don't be posting that stuff. Do stuff in the comfort of your house and enjoy your money and your family and take care of your loved ones. And they just don't know how blessed they are to be able to acquire this kind of money where they can take care of their families for generations. And then you conduct yourself like an idiot and then you cut that stuff short. So that's all I'm saying to you, man. Damn. And this every time you turn around, there's something negative about him.
So, Najee, which teams would be a good fit if, in fact, it's true that Ja Morant wants out, and if the Memphis Grizzlies grant him that, which teams do you think would be a good landing spot for him? You think it'll be the Lakers, the Kings, or the Houston Rockets?
The Lakers already have too many ball handlers because you got Austin Reeves, you got LeBron, and you got Luka. That's already too much. So honestly, I think his style of play would be perfect for
the Heat,
maybe the Hawks, the Heat. He got to go because he has to go somewhere on the east side. That's what I believe. But the Heat, I think, would be perfect because
you think if he come down here, Pat Riley and Spoelstra get a handle on his
they're gonna straighten him up. They're gonna straighten him up.
Yeah, I think he would be in good hands down there with Riley and Spoelstra.
He also need a different scenery too because he can't conduct himself like that in a different city like that because he's not familiar with the city. So by him going to a different city, because he's from South Carolina. So he already went to Memphis, been in Memphis forever. So now if he go to the Heat, now he got to kind of like find himself again. So he can't.
Yeah, I think he
can't just conduct himself like that.
Pat Riley, go get him and bring him down here. Pat, go get him and bring him here, and we'll straighten him out once he get here.
He'd be a great addition to the Heat too if he were in fact.
And since he's already a explosive player, that's gonna make the Miami Heat change.
The running gun type of thing would be awesome with that.
Between him, you got Norman Powell, then you got Bam, because they're gonna probably give up like Tyler Hero and maybe a younger piece or a draft pick just to get him because Ja Morant is not making that much more money than Tyler Hero. So that would be a perfect like swap
scenario. Yeah.
Okay, so we wish Ja Morant well. First of all, we're not here to bash Ja Morant. We're not here to cast aspersions on Ja Morant. We're here to try to enlighten Ja Morant about how good he has it. I mean, because if you think about it, the average American don't make $21,000 a year. I think Ja Morant probably make that in hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he makes it in minutes.
The poverty level is $21,000 on average, and most people they're broke as a joke, and they can't figure out how to even get to the next step in life, paying their bills and all of that. And you got a professional basketball player making hundreds of millions of dollars in one game. They get paid just astronomical amounts of money in one game. How could you piss that off? I don't think it should. You have to think, and you have to be very clear with how you think. That, look, I got it good. I'm gonna carry myself like a true professional. Don't go out there acting like an idiot, because if you do, they have places for people like that. That's all I'm saying. And it might not even be anything beyond you not being able to play basketball again or football again. And then you end up out there and you end up like Shawn Kemp. I mean, Shawn Kemp was one of the best power forwards I ever seen play basketball back in the day for the Seattle Supersonics. But right now, he can't attest that he has a bunch, that he could fall back on, at least from what the allegations, what I've read. So that's the thing. You look back and I'm talking specifically to Ja Morant, you'll look back at this time and say, boy, I wish I'd have done something different if you didn't do it the right way. And they end up, you end up exiting out before you wanted to go. So this is just a life lesson learned.
Another example with Sprewell. When
Sprewell's another one. Latrell Sprewell, who played for the Milwaukee Bucks. I remember Latrell Sprewell. They offered him a contract back then, and he told him, "Look, I got to feed my family," and that was kind of a soliloquy where he's saying, "That's not enough money. That's an insult. You giving me this, trying to offer me this type of money, you know." And you have to be humble enough to accept
the issue with him reality. Was his behavior when he yoked out his coach too.
Well, he choked PJ Carlesimo, right?
Yeah, he yoked him out, and then people didn't see him the same, and nobody see him in the same light anymore, and it kind of shortened his career. So this is what we're saying, man. I watched this segment a couple of weeks ago where they were showing all the former players that was in financial situations where they couldn't pay their rent and that pension that they were getting. They blew that too. So this is the thing that we're trying to say to you, man. Just straighten yourself out before. And
we're talking directly to Ja Morant. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, straighten yourself out, man, because once it's done, it's over. I mean, you should see how many players right now want to get back in the NFL who screwed up, want to get back in the NBA.
You see,
and these are the ones who still
Cam Newton say all the time right now. He said it feels so different not getting an NFL check every week.
That's right.
Yeah, every time. That was
that's a lifeline, right? I mean, when you get that NFL check every Tuesday, I think, or every Monday, I think it's Tuesday. I'm not 100% sure.
It used to be Tuesday with NFL. It was Tuesday.
Yeah, it was Tuesday in the NFL. I don't know what the rotation is for the NBA, but I'm sure it's somewhere close to that. And that check flowed in, and you see that astronomical amount of money in your account. You can do anything the hell you want to do with your life. You can go buy a car. You can go buy a yacht. You could travel the world. All of those things can go up in smoke within seconds. And guess what? When it goes up in smoke, all those people around you not gonna come around you no more. They ain't gonna come around you no more. Because these people are hanging around you for what you could do for them, not what they could do for you.
I'm going to tell you right now, DC, from experience with entourages and stuff like that, most of those entourage folks are leeches and cowards, and they're afraid to tell the guy, "Oh, you're doing this wrong," because they're afraid the guy going to cut them off.
Well, even the parents sometimes are afraid to tell them.
I said entourages, they're part of it. They're a part of it. They're afraid to say, "Okay, listen, man, you need to cut this out." Especially the ones who ain't chastise him as a youth. Let him do anything he want. Let him get away with everything he want. And guess what? As an adult, he's a jackass because you ain't checking when he was small. Now he's getting in all of this trouble because you didn't do what you were supposed to do when you were young. And now he's rich, and you're afraid to tell him what's wrong and what's right because you're afraid he's going to clip you where you won't get your house paid or your car note paid. And that's what's wrong with him now.
And since we brought up Latrell Sprewell, it looks like he turned down, according to several websites that I'm looking at, and this is all allegations that he turned down a $21 million contract at the time. Yeah, and $21 million, no matter how you shape it, no matter what year it was,
that was enormous money.
No matter what year it was, it could have been 20 years ago. If a team is trying to dump $21 million into your bank account, I find it hard to understand how would you turn your back on that. But, people think different, right? So, anyway, let's talk a little bit about Charles Barkley and Stephen A. Smith. I'll repeat it again, Charles Barkley and Stephen A. Smith, because, we read a lot of stuff and we take in a lot of information from the information ecosystem, which is the media ecosystem. And with that said, Charles Barkley is not afraid to speak his mind. He'll speak his mind. He was that way when he played. He was that way when he played for the Phoenix Suns. And he wasn't only afraid, he was only not afraid to say what he wanted to say. He put them things on you too when he needed to.
Yeah.
He would drop on a drop of a hat. He would lay hands on people back then. I mean, if they wronged him or if he felt threatened, Because a lot of times, when you're in a position where he had been there, I'm pretty sure that he was in a spot where he said, look, I got to defend myself, right?
He kicked some ass in them bars, man. He go in them bars and somebody come over there and say he ain't win a championship and get in his face. Next thing you know, they going out the window.
Not going out of the window, they flying out of the window.
Throwing them through the window. Yeah.
One thing on behalf of Charles Barkley that I appreciate and I respect, he's an Alabama boy. He came from Alabama. He came up through, the school of hard knocks when it came to Auburn University, and he played his ass off at Auburn. I mean, when he played at Auburn, he was deadly. When he got to the Phoenix Suns, he was deadly. And he was a lot leaner back then. So Chuck got some bulk on him a little bit now, but Chuck was lean, and boy, he wasn't afraid to go up against any center, any big man. He didn't care who it was at the time.
Well, Charles Barkley ain't fat no more now.
He done lost the weight. I heard he's trimmed down a lot.
He tell you right now, that boy's small. What?
He's on one of those diet medications.
He's on one of them shots.
Yeah.
I think on the same shot as
Ozempic. Is that what they call it, Ozempic?
There's a couple of them.
She's on another one. He's on another one though. He's on the same with Serena Williams. Serena Williams is on it too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because you realize if you see a recent photo of Serena, she's not even like bulky type no more. She's very slender.
She look much better too, man. Look much better.
So it says here, and I'm looking at Fox Sports right now, and it says ESPN Stephen A. Smith fires back at Charles Barkley after warning about being overexposed. What do you guys make out of that?
Overexposed as in what?
Overexposed in the media. It says here, Stephen A. Smith fired back at Charles Barkley over the warning the Basketball Hall of Famer gave to the sports personality about being overexposed to the media. Smith prefaced his remarks on his podcast by saying that he had a respect and appreciation for Barkley, suggesting that the two was close. That's my guy, but that doesn't mean I don't always agree with him, and it doesn't mean that I'm devoid of the right to call him a flaming hypocrite when it's called upon, Smith said on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Do y'all know how many commercials Charles Barkley does a year? He'll tell us 2. Have you seen Charles Barkley in 2 commercials? Are you kidding me?
I've seen it. Yeah.
So this is just Stephen A. Smith's pushback on what Charles Barkley actually said, according to these reports. And I'm looking directly at Fox News right now, reading it off of there. And Najee, tell me, what do you think about that? Because if you got a sports media personality as popular as Stephen A. Smith, Stephen A. Smith he's in the stratosphere when it comes to followers and people who admire him, people who dislike him too. It's both. I would say one side is more likely almost even. That's just my guess. But do you think they should be fighting out these kind of disagreements in the public realm, or should they just get with each other and say, look, dog, this is what I think. You might want to do this, or you might want to take this advice. What do you think, Najee?
Man, they're just too old, man. Just always gonna have a disagreement about something. Because you already, what's the saying they say? You can't teach a old dog new tricks. That's just how they're both like 60. They're not gonna change from where they are, bro. I know Charles Barkley's definitely 60, but that's who they are, man. You're not gonna change who they are. That's just what it's gonna be. You're not gonna change them.
Well, Stephen A. Smith made his living.
He's been around for over 30 years. Charles Barkley's been.
I'm trying to gather all of this stuff.
Okay, so according to what I'm reading here, it looks like Charles Barkley made his remarks on an appearance on Outkick's Don't At Me with Dan Dykich. The former 76er star said that he would not vote for Smith for president before warning Smith that people could get sick of him. That's the actual quote from Charles Barkley.
But Barkley be wrong about some stuff, right? I mean, even though he's forthcoming about a lot of things, he's wrong sometimes. But in this case, I don't think he's wrong about certain parts of it. And that part is I won't vote for his ass. I wouldn't. But the overexposure, there's nothing wrong with the overexposure, man. He's got his stuff in that position to be like that.
Yeah, and he worked hard to get there, right?
Yeah, yep. I listened to him on certain things. I listened to him in sports, and then I seen him dab into politics. And that's where he should have drawn a line at, because he don't know what the hell he's talking about when it comes to politics. He's weighing in on a bunch of stuff, and he's wrong like hell, man. And then the sad part about it, he be swaying minds
of millions of his followers, because he's got a bullhorn that's got millions of followers, you know.
And half of the country don't even know how to think for themselves, and they listen to jackasses like Stephen A. weigh in on political stuff, and he be wrong about it. So that's the only part I got, a problem with. But other than that, it ain't nothing wrong with out there chasing a bag, being as popular.
When you popular like that, man.
Absolutely. I concur with you guys' takes on that, because that's so important. That I don't have a problem with the overexposure either. I mean, he's on General Hospital, he's on Law and Order. I mean, he's doing a lot of different stuff, and he's being able to manage all of that, and his own podcast, of course, which is super popular. I'm talking about referring to Stephen A. Smith. I think Barkley was trying to kind of get it out there to him that you can get to a point where you're so overexposed to things that people, they just tune out. That's what I suspect Barkley was trying to get across. I don't think it was anything malicious coming from Charles Barkley, because Charles Barkley, if he got a problem with you maliciously, he'll let you know. And I don't think this was at all that way. So
Barkley he's just brutally honest. He doesn't filter how he feels or why he gonna, like, some people, when they'll go into, they want to tell people about themselves, they try to tiptoe around ways so they don't offend them. I don't care if it offends you or not. He's just gonna tell you.
Yeah, he don't care if it offends anyone.
That's really what it is. He's not going to try to spare feelings. That's the better thing to say. He's not going to spare feelings to be able to tell you. He's just going to tell you what it is, basically.
But look at it from this side, and this is the thing where I see. I just told you I don't like him politically at all. But if you look at it, if he want to run for an office, what he's doing is he's broadening his horizon, because he's on General Hospital. You got all of the stay-home moms who's washing clothes and taking care of the house.
Absolutely.
Who don't listen to sports, but you on soap operas. Then he's got his own sports show, so he got the average sports person. Then he's on Law and Order, people who like law enforcement and like stuff like that. And then he's got all these other type of things, and then he's on a political thing. So if you want to be in the political realm, you have to get as much followers as possible and people to see you, because name recognition is the one put you in these places, even if your politics stinks. But, I know that person, or they think they know that person, because I'm going to tell you right now, it just happens that way. And there's nothing wrong with it, because that's just the way of the world. The more people see you, the more they can identify with you, then they'll vote for you, because people don't dig and find the things that's supposed to be for your own best interest, so to speak. You just voted for a guy who you think you know, but he could totally don't even have your best interest at heart. So that's what it's all come down to, what Stephen A. is doing. He's just got a big, broad following of people. And there's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with that, because I find it really, really spectacular that Stephen A. was able to parlay all of this together and put it all together as one. That's just my take on it.
Not only that, DC, if he was not popular, he won't have all of these things going down. People who's not popular, nobody's willing to invest in you. They invest in you because you're popular, and they thinking they can capitalize off your popularity. And that's all it is, man. That's all. That's all it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One last topic I want to ask Najee, because I was speaking with someone yesterday, and he asked me, what I thought about the OKC Thunder, the organization, the level that the organization is at right now, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, along with the other players on the Oklahoma Thunder. And what do you think? Do you think Oklahoma City is one of the best franchises in the NBA with the best players, and it's an organization that players want to come to play for?
They currently are right now. When you talk about what they have set aside for themselves, they got, I think the oldest star they have is like 27, 28, bro. Everybody else is well underneath that. Then you have probably the most draft picks available on top of it, and then on top of that, they don't even have that much of a salary cap that nobody's getting.
And that this person, he told me yesterday that this salary cap is perfect.
So now you mean to tell me you can bring in talent, you can bring in young talent, and you still your best core is young. So you can't tell me, and that's not even. We're just talking about the people that's paying them. We ain't even talking about the fan base. The fan base is almost like a college fan base. There's nothing fake about that. They are all hyped up as if it's a college game. Sometimes I be looking at them like, bro, they are too hyped to be a pro basketball game. Because you go to the Heat, you go to the Lakers. They're gonna have times where they're really quiet. If they're getting blown out, they're definitely quiet. But when you go to an OKC game, they're hyped the entire game, just like a college team. So and then on top of it, there's nobody bringing in negative energy. There's nobody sorrow. There's nobody acting spoiled. There's nobody acting like they're not getting enough. Like there's no bad energy there right now so far. At least not being shown on TV, or if it is, it's being hidden really well. There's nothing negative about their franchise right now.
Absolutely. So Isaiah, where do you think the state of the NBA is right now as a collective?
Well, monetarily, they're clocking it, man. They're making tons of money, billions of dollars, and that's why it's so lucrative, because they're spreading it all over the world. I mean, you look at some of these teams. Just look at the Olympics, where teams that was just introduced to basketball 10 years ago, they were kicking ass, man, around the world. So the NBA is a big influence with China and all these places in Africa, and because you got international players in the NBA. So that's why it's so broad. I mean, football is not like that, and football is the biggest sport in our country, but you just look at soccer too. Soccer is huge because it's got a lot of international players playing soccer. But in terms of basketball is clocking it here in the United States without a doubt. And the state of it is just as far as the commission can take it. I mean, I think he's doing a hell of a job too, with the way things are conducted, the contract, these guys getting paid a lot of money. And the only thing I think that's he tolerated a little bit too much is the behavior of some of the players, man. Those prior commissioners weren't going for it. They wasn't
like David Stern and all of them, right?
David Stern wasn't having it, man. He was not. He wasn't having you coming in looking all foolish, dressed like a clown, and then getting in trouble. He wasn't going for that, man. At all.
Tattoos.
I used to love to see how Jordan and the rest of those guys would come in there with freaking tailored suits on. That was bad.
Yeah, they looked really professional back in that time, right? Back in the day. Yeah. Even Magic Johnson, he used to dress with some bad rags too, man.
That was where it was at, man.
Yeah.
That was where it's at. Kobe and the rest of those guys.
Kobe, Shaq, all of them used to dress up for sure.
Even when Dr. J was playing, man, he used to be wearing some bad clothes, man, bad shoes and things to match, and these fly hats to go with it. Yeah, Yeah.
So you think the
But one thing I'm
NBA?
gonna tell you right now, though, DC, what I'm gonna tell you right now, American basketball definitely has to pick up though, because
The pace.
we're getting over elastic when it comes to the international talent. Now,
Mhm.
just look at the last 5, 6 MVPs alone.
Yeah, they were farming.
Embiid, Jokic,
Yep.
Giannis,
Mm-hmm.
Shea, they all not from this country.
Correct.
Right.
And then when we talk about Luka's not from this country. Tell me which American player that's considered to be MVP level right now.
I don't know one. I mean, I haven't heard one. Have you?
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
No, none of them are
Yeah.
American. And then the ones that are American that's still top notch is old as dirt now when it comes to sport.
Right. That's
Durant,
true. That's true.
Curry, LeBron is going beyond normal standards. He's 41.
Yeah.
Bro,
LeBron's
there's
the blue
nobody
pen,
that's even probably under 35, to be honest. As a matter of fact, maybe not even 30. And B is probably the only one that's probably not American that's making them look bad. But other than that, everybody else is top notch. And guess what? And guess what he tried to bring else in? Victor Wemby, right? Wemby's not from this country either.
Yeah, Victor Wembanyama is French. He's from
He's
France.
not from this country.
Yeah.
And then when we try to put faith in Zion won't stay healthy. He's getting women pregnant crazy.
Well, he can't keep the weight off. That's the biggest thing I think is his biggest challenge is Zion Williamson.
Bro, it's crazy. So guess what? It's gonna be their league real soon. It's gonna be their league real soon.
And you're talking about an international league more so than an American league, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. We got too much. It's 400 plus players in the NBA, and we ain't talking about not one American that's top 10 and that's gonna get an MVP. It could have been Jason Tatum, but guess what? Jason Tatum's out. Tyrese Halliburton, he's out too.
Yeah, I don't think Halliburton will be back for a while because he tore up his. Didn't he tear his Achilles?
He tore his Achilles the very last game that you could possibly do it. Game 7 in the NBA Finals. He's missing the entire season. Just like Jason Tatum, he's missing the entire season.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the NBA's trajectory is going to go nowhere but up, like you guys just mentioned with China. I mean, China itself is just
so many countries that's into it now.
Their fans in China is just it's insane. Let's just say the least.
If you would have watched those Olympics, DC, those African teams, they were playing their rear ends. They're shooting like threes, like dropping pebbles in the ball,
Luol Deng. I think Luol Deng coaches one of those teams, right?
He does. He does. And I'm talking about his team specifically, where they was hitting threes like crazy, man. And they're
when they gave America the second time they played America, they gave us a fight.
Gave us fits. Because I think Luol Deng understands, the strategies and how to draw up certain things to be able to help his team win like that, right?
He gave him the NBA playbook, DC.
Yes, he did.
He's covered everything. Yeah.
Yep. And that's a beautiful thing. I mean, I like players like that. Although I'm with Najee that these American players, we got to step up our game and get back in this thing. So we'll have these most valuable player under considerations type of things where it's just these people got to play at a higher level. And I'm sure some of them are, some of them aren't. But we'll see how that plays out in the future, Last but not least, looks like James Harrison, ex-Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker James Harrison, made a quote, and this is according to TMZ, that he believes Mike Tomlin's job is 100% safe regardless of the outcome Monday night. Do you think so, Isaiah? Is his job's 100% safe going into next year?
Yeah. Last week made it safe.
Yeah, because if the kick would have went through, it would have been a different set of circumstances, right?
Probably, yeah, man. But they're gonna win this week coming up, so he's good. I'm pulling for him tonight, rather. Yeah.
How about you, Najee?
Yeah, I concur with Isaiah. I concur.
So for all of the Pittsburgh media and the people who want him gone, y'all gonna have to deal with him at least another year. You know, and more likely he'll have a winning season next year too, because he's never had a losing season.
Know how blessed they are, either DC. I'm gonna tell you, the Pittsburgh fans, I'm rooting for them, but they just don't know, man. They just failed on something good to have Aaron Rodgers on that squad, man.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers is, like I say, he's the truth for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta sit there and think about it. He's over 40. He's tore his Achilles. Like, how much you really would think he would have in the tank? I mean, you can't fault him.
Nobody could fault him. I'm just so thrilled to see him play at a high level like that, man, and how they respect and admire his talent. And he loved that organization. I mean, DC and I was talking about this a couple of weeks ago, how they embraced him and brought him in there, and they just let them do whatever he wanted, and he's winning for them, man. I couldn't imagine him running 25 yards to get first downs, man. He just didn't look like he had that part in him.
Me neither.
He's always had the talent and be able to read a defense and throw the ball superb and everything. But to see him take off running to get a 20-yard first down and to giggle and laugh and have fun out there, to see him enjoying those wins. Oh, man. And to see Tomlin just light up to see them pull that game off, man. It's just, that's what football is all about, guys. That's what it's all about.
That's really what it's about.
Just like that.
Going out there, having fun, making big plays, and if your body will hold up long enough to allow you to do that, that's what it's about. Mm-hmm. That's really what it's about. And the ultimate thing is winning. So I got one commenter here that commented back from the Baltimore Ravens of, some of the quotes that we made. And here's Reality Check 4515. I quoted saying one man's leg cost another man 18 years. And it says here, one man's living didn't cost one man 18 years on a job. This dude is missing the point. He's speaking about me. What cost Harbs 18 years was his inability to get the team to more than one Super Bowl in almost 2 decades. Since winning his first Super Bowl, almost 15 years have passed, and a lot of Lamar's prime years has passed as well. Besides, even if Loop, which was the kicker, had made the winning kick, it was just a matter of time before Harbs was going to be run up out of there. And if they didn't go to a Super Bowl, or if they were not winning it, so I don't see why so many people seem alarmed at this outcome for Harbs, when we all know the NFL is a performance-based league. All the accomplishments Harbs had are fine, but they don't result in Super Bowl championship. They just water under the bridge. Just like when the regular season ends, all of those accomplishments fade into the past, no matter how impressive and how are soon forgotten. In Harb's case, Steve Bisciotti, who's the owner, just ran out of patience. So I just wanted to share that with you guys and share that with our other viewers, that this person, and we're so happy you commented on that, because I agree with some of the things. My perspective from what I was saying about that kick is, when you are kicking for a living, I'm not saying you got to be perfect, and I'm not saying this had much to do with Harb's job. I'm going to separate the two. Whenever you have a kicker, especially in a game like they were playing against Pittsburgh, the expectation is for you to come in and make the kick. I want to separate that from Harbaugh getting fired because of that locker room or whatever else that was involved. So anyway, we'll go ahead and close the show out. We thank all of our viewers, and we thank everyone for everything. We're living a dream. One thing they always say, if you love what you're doing, you will never put in 8 hours or 1 day of work at all, because it's not going to be work to you. It's going to be what you love doing. That's the scenario that I always think about. You don't even need to think about working if you love what you're doing, because you already experiment into what you're doing. So let me get you to close this thing out, Isaiah, and we'll move over to Najee as well.
What a beautiful show, guys. Beautiful Monday It's nice outside. Listen, guys, we love this, man. This is the height of football with the playoffs here, national championship around the corner. My U is in this thing, baby. You guys support this U, man. Love what Michael Irvin is doing. He's pumping it up. You know, we were getting ready to play Indiana, have an alumni, Indiana guy who's alumni from Christopher Columbus High School. We're going to go down there next week. Well, actually, sometime this week and tour the school and just make light of all the good things that's happening here in the city of Miami and where all the big stuff happening here in Miami, along with this show and having DC on the West Coast and Najee in the middle of the state. So it's beautiful, man. So just you guys continue to do what you're doing because our numbers are flying high like an eagle flies, man.
Yes.
And continue to do that. Watch us and tell your friends, your family, and your coworkers that we're on. We're doing our thing, baby. So continue to watch us. Thanks. Enjoy your week.
How about you, Najee?
Well, peace and blessings, love God, because He's definitely gonna love you. Just like we said, always dial in because we're gonna tell you the raws of the raws when it comes to live events, sports, or even just talk about anything and life experience. So yeah, peace and love. And guess what? You got this, fellas. Let's go and take it home.
I'm trying to tell all of these naysayers about the U. Y'all better ask somebody. Better wake up and smell the roses because Indiana gonna be, from my aspect and my standpoint, they're gonna be in a heap of trouble. And they're gonna be in a heap of trouble because the U is at home and they're back. So we'll find that out next Monday. But in the meantime, you are listening to the DC Stewart Show Podcast live on YouTube, on Facebook, on several other social media platforms. We thank you for joining us on any of those platforms. Twice a week, we're at the prom. We had a viewer the other day said that he asked, what is this, a prom? We're at a prom. This is a daytime prom today, so we do it twice a week for now.
What we do.
This is what we do, baby. Anyway, y'all take it easy. Everybody take care of yourself. This is the beginning of the week for everybody who's traveling to Miami for this game. Be safe, be sound, come to the city of Miami, enjoy yourself, have a good time. It's a great city. It's a great city, and I can't say enough good things about Miami because I grew up down there from a little child, so I can never forget it. What I want to do is when I get back, I want to eat at Burger King on 36th Street is one thing because we used to eat as children over there.
We used to ride our bikes down there. Right?
We used to ride our bikes down to that Burger King, and I would always get a Whopper with cheese and some fries and a large Coke. So I want to see if
Isaiah, make sure he gets him a nice bowl of collard greens and not from the can, please, God.
I got to eat for right. See, Najee, why you messed that up, man? I was gonna surprise him, man. I was gonna surprise him. God almighty, you blew it, dog.
Oh my Lord!
You some real McCoys quit eating them greens out the can.
Well, my wife told me I better watch myself when I get down there and start eating because she said that she could see the change in me when I go to sneaking around and eating food that I ain't supposed to be eating. She could see the change instantly. So I just told her, give me 3 days and, I ain't going to worry about it. How about that?
DC, this is what I'm going to do since Najee done blew my hustle, man. I'm going to give it where it packed because that flight is 6 hours away. And the way this going to be packed is going to be like 12 hours. So these collard greens going to be wrapped tight, frozen, and so when you get back to LA, you can give your wife some of these things. Y'all
I'm definitely going to take you up on that.
Ready to go down.
I'm going to take you up on that, baby. Najee just busted you. Absolutely. All right, well, we'll close this.
Greens, man.
Absolutely.
Greens. Yeah.
So we'll close this show out. We hope everybody stay in good health, good spirits. Root for your team, your favorite team from the University of Miami versus Indiana. We're going to be talking to some of you folks, so be on the lookout for us. Pittsburgh play Houston tonight, so tune into that one, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, peace, love, and prosperity. Take it easy.